Hello, today we will be discussing and comparing the two websites, Bank of America and PNC. The way I went about doing this was through an eye of a user who wants to decide on a bank, and the only information that he or she has available is the website. So, really, when we go through this presentation, what I was trying to look at was through an eyes of a user trying to make a decision of where he or she gets the information from in the website. So when we go to Bank of America, and if you look at their homepage, there's a few things that are of note. First of all, their menu bar is task-based, so they have action words like bank, borrow, invest, protect, plan. Kind of helps you identify where you want to go. So as a user, you'd be in the bank section. The other thing which this website, the homepage of Bank of America, has is its color scheme. It used the colors from its logo, which is blue, red, and white, all across its webpage. It's very consistent, and they tried not to use too many colors. Tried to keep themselves consistent with that. The other thing that the Bank of America homepage had was their foreign language. They only have one language, Spanish, that they presented at the top. Clicking on that link provides a replica of the same Bank of America homepage, just in Spanish. The last thing that was of note on the Bank of America homepage was that you're able to customize your experience by location. So it was able to identify that I was logging in from Massachusetts, and it was able to provide me Massachusetts specific information on its homepage, which was very unique and very useful. The last thing about Bank of America again was that their homepage was center aligned, so it was right in front of you in the middle. So as soon as you go, you don't need to hover your eyes to find the web page, and that. Moving on to PNC Bank's homepage. You can obviously see their homepage is left aligned. A lot of white space that remains because of that to the right. It takes a little while for the user's eyes to settle. In terms of the color scheme, they also tried to use the orange and white and blue, but they have many more colors that they're utilizing: gray, dark gray, and green in some instances as well. So lots of colors going around on the PNC Bank's website, which makes it a little bit busy. From a menu perspective, they did not use the task-based, they used a list-based approach. So for me as a user, I have to look at the product and services and look at the list that's provided, the checking, online, mobile banking, savings, to determine what is useful for me. There are no mouse overs. Bank of America's menu had mouse overs on it, so it's hovering over bank provided me all the different options. So here I just have to find the list that's important for me, and go from there. And then lastly, when talking about different translations, they have provided a couple of them, Spanish and Polish, at the bottom. Clicking on those websites, a Spanish one brings me to a brand new PNC page, which does not look like the English version. It's a customized Spanish and then a customized Polish website that they've developed at PNC Bank. So as a user, one of the things that we always try to look for is checking accounts, right? So going into Bank of America, clicking on bank and checkings, they sent me to a page where they were automatically comparing all kinds of checking account options that I might have, giving me just the right amount of information in terms of fees, any rates, any services that are provided, and they gave that to me in a side-by-side comparison. So as a user, this is very useful and helpful for me, rather than to dig around for information. It was all provided through one single click. From a PNC Bank perspective, looking at their checking account, I had to go through multiple clicks to get there. First, I had to go to the checking account, then I had to go to compare accounts to get to the same page that Bank of America provided through one click. The information is still the same, but it just took a while to get there. As I'd mentioned before about the color scheme, now you can see on their webpage you've got orange, gray, blue, green, and white, and the colors. So too many colors happening on one page, which makes the page look very busy. Lastly, the other interesting thing I noted for Bank of America checking account was that their logo wasn't hyperlinked back to the home page. So the only way I could go back is either hit the black button or hit the little home button up top. Bank of America, every page, as long if you clicked on the logo, it just took you to the home page, but that wasn't the case at PNC. When you look at the savings account information, Bank of America, its Massachusetts webpage again provide a similar feature as their checking account, which was a side-by-side comparison. The other interesting thing that they had was also that they had an online chat support available right then and there. So if I have any questions, I can just click on the chat button and I'll have a representative answering any questions. They also had the frequently asked questions link as well. So all the information is right there on one page. What was very interesting for Bank of America was that if I change the location and move it to Pennsylvania, my savings account webpage completely transforms and becomes something that's very similar to the PNC Bank layout, which is it being left aligned mostly in the list order. I don't know if Bank of America is trying to convert all its various websites into one standard format, or because they provide location specific information, they have isolated and they have created different web pages. But definitely the Massachusetts version of their savings account webpage and the checking out webpage is far superior than the Pennsylvania one. So the user experience might be different based on where you are. And then the last thing in any bank you look for is customer service. So when you go to Bank of America's webpage to get to the customer service, you have to click on a few links before you get the information that you need, which is usually the phone number. And the Bank of America website, first thing you can get specific information by state, which was interesting, but to get to the phone numbers, to get to the real meat of customer service, you have to answer a few questions before you get there, which I thought was cumbersome. All I was looking for was just their 1-800 number, but I had to go through 2 or 3 different screens before I got there. In contrast, PNC's customer service page had a few things going on as well. First thing that I noticed was some color redundancy. You can see the personal and customer service were in orange. It seemed to suggest that this is the customer service is under the personal section, which is not. It's just happened to be that both are in purple. So there was a color redundancy there, and then there was a duplicate verbiage. Customer service came twice. First up top on the banner and then on the website itself. So I don't know if this was something that was missing, but it was duplicative. But it was very easy to find PNC Bank's number. You just went to the customer service and it tells you exactly where to get the telephone numbers, where to find the local ATM. So it was much more easier to use and get the information out. So in conclusion, what I found was that the website design for Bank of America was far more superior than PNC Bank. However, there is a caveat. It depends on which location you're on. The one in Massachusetts was better, but when I looked at Pennsylvania, it resembled much more of the PNC Bank's website. From a usability perspective, Bank of America was much more intuitive. You can easily find what you want, where PNC was much more list-based, so you need to know what you're looking for and know where it's at. From an aesthetic appeal perspective as well, Bank of America was far superior. Their color use was much better than PNC Bank, and they kept it very simple and conservative, which is usually how a bank tries to be. And in terms of access to information, I would rate both of them equal. Both websites had the same information. It was just a matter of finding it, but both provide the right amount of information that a user would need. So in conclusion, I feel that Bank of America's website is better than PNC Bank. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you very much.